Welcome to Tim's Chefy Tips on YouTube. Again, this video is slightly different because I'm not actually doing any cooking, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up to London and I'm going to have a look at the places that I used to work at when I first left home at 18 and moved up to London. And I'm going to take you around the outside of a number of the places that I've worked, not all of them, but just a few. We're going to spend a couple of days in London, and hopefully that you will enjoy this video. This is Trafalgar Square and Nelson's Column. Back in the 90s, this is where I used to work at White Club, which was people like members of Parliament, the aristocracy, former heads of defunct countries like the King of Greece, King Juan Carlos when he was exiled. They always used to come to this club, and I was a chef here for maybe 2-3 years.
And David Niven.
And
I'm going to scan around and have a little look. Okay, this was it. This was White's, where he used to work, and where I snuck down there and went up into the kitchen.
this is the Ritz Hotel in Piccadilly. I worked here as a fish chef during the early 80s. This is another hotel that I worked during the 80s. This is the Park Lane Hotel, which is now called the Sheridan Park Lane on Piccadilly. I worked here as chef de partie. This is the Hilton Tower on Park Lane. Now this building here used to be a hotel that I worked in called the Londonderry, run by a Saudi Arabian group, completely different now. Again, I was a chef de partie. I dealt with all the cold buffet in the restaurant.
The first job that Tim had when he left Salisbury, and it was Ivy back in '76. And I shall whiz you around without getting sick too much to His Highness.
Yeah, my first job, I was a commis chef here. I remember my first job when I got into the kitchen was slicing mushrooms. It was quite intimidating, having moved up from Salisbury. My first experience in the big city. I'd been here maybe one day and a night before I started working here in a very hot kitchen, because the temperatures in that summer, I came up at the end of June, was 50 degrees in the kitchen.
Hallelujah.
This is the inside of the Ivy restaurant, and as you can see, it was quite popular with single seating. This is number 1 and 3 Old Compton Street. As a young chef, this used to be the Chef's Social Club, where we used to come in the afternoon, the Association of Cuisine Française. I used to come here in the afternoon before I went back in the evening for my Coca-Cola and game of darts. When I used to finish my shift in the afternoon, I used to have a few hours off before I went back to the Ivy. I used to sit between the paws of these lions. Cleopatra's Needle is behind me. And I'm sure many American tourists took a picture of me fast asleep on the lion's paws. Of course, my darling wife is there now. Cleopatra's Needle. This is Wellington's Arch. This used to be the Belfry Club, which was a gentleman's club that I worked at in around about 85, I think, or just before. It is now run by a well-known chef called Musliman, who was the executive chef at the Hilton. But in my day, it was just a gentleman's club, which formerly used to be an RAF officers' mess, particularly during the war. And a well-known war hero used to be a member here. His name was Douglas Bardo, who lost his legs in a plane crash, and he was a well-known member here. So I reckon it was the early 80s that I worked here. I hope you enjoyed those 2 days that we had up in London. We thoroughly enjoyed. It's like memory lane. We also went to a Lebanese restaurant for our first night. We had some shawarma, some hummus and fattoush salad. And then the second night we went into a family business that did some pizzas and some other bits and pieces, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. And we hope that you enjoyed this short video of our short trip up to London to reminisce the places that I used to work when I first started chefing, and at the top end of hotels and restaurants and gentlemen's clubs. I was really privileged to be able to have that opportunity to work in these places. Thank you for watching.